Hello, everyone. It's Natalie,
And Madeline.
and welcome back to TWT. In today's episode, we'll be learning more about transfer students and a glimpse of how the process typically seems to run. To help me do so, please help me welcome our special guest, Tyler, a transfer student who transferred to TWU. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tyler. Before we begin, go ahead and share with us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tyler DeBeauty. I am a senior studying kinesiology, which is exercise science at Texas Women's. And yes, I am a transfer student.
Awesome, Tyler. So let's go ahead and get started. What college did you transfer from?
So Texas Women's is my fourth college to attend and enroll in, actually. Yes. My freshman year, I moved from Texas to Louisville, Kentucky
Oh,
to
wow.
attend the University of Louisville. It's a D1 college, and my main reason for attending there was to cheer because I was a competitive cheerleader growing up, and I
A
was really
great one
interested.
also coming from
Yeah.
to high school with him.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Um, so that was the main reason why I decided to go so far, and I studied business marketing there, but I didn't want to have to pay the out-of-state tuition. So I enrolled at their community college, which was a feeder school, and I took one class on the campus at University of Louisville, even though I was at all of their football games and basketball games.
He said I didn't attend there, but I was there every day.
Yep.
No, I took one class. It was a macroeconomics course, and I got an A, but
Oh, wow. Good job.
Good.
it was just financially stressful to pay an out-of-state tuition whenever I was a part of a spirit program who didn't provide enough financial support or any opportunities, scholarship opportunities.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But after that year was over, we did win our college nationals in cheerleading um, against Texas Tech and other D1 colleges like Oklahoma State. So it was a really like pinnacle part of it was like the last thing that I wanted to really do in cheerleading was at the collegiate level. So after that, I decided to move back home and focus on my studies and how I could become more so of a professional
Right.
Dang.
and like
So,
establishing a career and whatnot.
well, it's a long process, but I'm glad you kind of figured out what you wanted to do and
Yeah.
looked at your kind of prioritized your future rather than having fun for that moment, you know?
Right. Like I really enjoyed the experience and all of the big time like I don't know, the grand
Yeah.
D1, the D1
Mhm.
part of it. And but I honestly didn't really feel as recognized as not only a cheerleader, but also as a student because I was going to a community
Um,
college. And I got a little bit of intellect about me. Uh, so I felt like going to a community college really wasn't within my best interest. However, I moved back home after that year. I attended Richland College, the Dallas County Community College District, and I worked
Mhm.
as a social media manager for a cheerleading company, and I traveled a lot, and it was a lot of
Wow, that's
fun.
a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, and I actually at that time at Richland, I decided to change my major from business marketing to um, like a bachelor's in science instead of a bachelor's of the arts.
Wow.
So what made you really want to transfer to TWU, if you don't mind sharing?
Of course, like I said, I didn't really feel recognized. I didn't really connect as strongly with the academic material and the program because, well, at the university level, it's just kind of like you're just another student, I
Mm,
guess. And I and
yeah.
I and I really liked how Texas Women's focuses their attention on dedicating resources to their students and, you know, academic programs. Also,
Yeah.
I had done some research about their programs in occupational therapy and how well that their health science or health studies programs were in undergrad. So that's why.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know what it feels like the whole just a number thing, because when I was in high school, I only had like my class was like over 2,000 kids, so I felt like I never knew anybody. Like someone could be up come up to me like, "Oh, do you know this person?" I'm like, "No." Like I barely knew any of the people on campus. So like coming here where it's like a more smaller population was like so nice because like I actually know everybody. I can like recognize faces on campus. So it's like such a nice feeling.
Yeah, because like at the community colleges, it's mainly the students are in like their own lane, and
Yeah.
you don't
Mhm.
really get as much like you don't experience as much dedication with the students and like cohesion. Like it really wasn't like everyone was together trying to achieve like a similar goal. It was like we're on our own different paths, which
Yeah.
Mhm.
at TW, I mean, we're pioneers. We like to forge new paths, but also together. It's
That's
not a
true
shared.
because like in community college, like a lot of people have lives already, or it's a lot of people that come back and study and they already have families. So they just go to their classes, get their stuff done, and leave. And in like a big
Yeah.
institution, like, you're just another student kind of because everybody has their own deal going on. There's so many programs, there's so many, organizations that you're just like, nobody really knows me. And I feel like
Exactly.
that's what really stands out about TW because we're not that big. And I think we go by that saying like private fail, public cost, because like
Yeah.
everyone knows each other. Literally, you walk around and you know most people around walking on campus.
Mhm.
Yes, and I remember in high school, like one of our cheer coaches was a TWU alumni, and I remember her just being always so clean. She looked so clean. She was very nice and classy, and
Mhm.
she had like a really like sharp intellect. So I really respected her.
That's really good.
Also,
Awesome.
state tuition because I'm from Texas. The in-state tuition here was a great deal.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because the tuition here is definitely nice because it is, like, pretty cheap. Like, I think we're ranked, like, one of the I don't wanna say cheapest schools, but it's, like it's pretty
Affordable.
like, the tuition's pretty low, affordable.
Compared to other schools tuition, it's pretty cheap, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
not only that, they offer so much financial aid and like scholarships and stuff, like
Mhm.
amazing. But with that being said, Tyler, what was the process like in the transition of transferring schools?
Um, it should be relatively easy. It was relatively easy transferring and the application process. I remember doing Apply Texas, and the most difficult part of any application, honestly, is getting in your transcripts and requesting them from your schools and seeing
Mhm.
which courses um, are able to transfer with like the same equivalency in credits.
Right. Oh yeah, because I didn't know that till my sophomore year of college where you could take the same class like in community college, but like it won't transfer over because it's not the same type of credit that is required for that
Yeah.
institution. So I
Mhm.
think they have like this website, I think it's called, what is it, Texas Common Course Number, where you can
Mhm.
match like you type in your institution and then you see what number they go by and then like the common number for Texas, and then if they match, well then obviously your credit is able to be transferred.
Yeah, because like, one of my friends, she tried taking a bunch of online courses in, like, Hawaii. Like, she's going to U of H, and she tried taking a bunch of online courses because she's like, "Oh, it's easy," and then, like, none of it transferred.
Wow, that
Yeah,
sucks.
because she, like, didn't check the course number, so, like, it was hard, like, transferring, like, all those credits over.
Well, yeah, also I was like business marketing my freshman year. So the
Mm,
course requirements for whichever program of study you decide to go with it really it does matter. Like some of them
So
don't even
it's
apply to your program.
like, is the application different for transfers than like an incoming freshman or someone that's going straight to the institution?
Yeah, there is a difference, but it's really not that significant to where it makes it difficult on a transfer student.
Okay.
It's mainly just like um gathering the information of the school that you're transferring from.
Oh, right.
So
They kind
it's
of ask for like your history or like background you've had at that school, right? Or that institution, kind of like, oh, what classes did you take, or your GPA there, or
Mhm.
your transcripts overall.
totally.
Overall, was the process of transferring schools to TW, was it daunting, or do you think it was just like overall easy?
Overall, I think it was pretty like relatively easy. Yeah.
Mm.
It wasn't difficult by any means.
What made it like so easy, would you say?
Um, Probably the centralized application. So Apply Texas
Mhm.
is pretty easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Um, the
It
hardest
is.
part about that process was requesting those transcripts and figuring out like my student ID from my previous school and logging back into like the
It's hard
email.
memorizing so many.
Yeah.
So what was it like finding your place at TW? Like, did you seem to click in easily, or did it take some time to like adjust to the new environment or making new friends, or, you know, adapting to your new classes or your new environment?
Yeah, well, I actually transferred in during the pandemic.
Oh, so you were
Oh.
online.
So I was, yes, so I got accepted to T-Dub. I hadn't even done a campus tour. I didn't even know what our campus had looked like.
It's okay. I didn't do a campus tour when I joined TW either.
Me
I know
either.
it's such a shame. It's such a shame. I remember looking at a map of it and being like, okay, I see, I kind of like the layout. The layout looks very navigate. But during that time, yeah, there just wasn't a lot going on campus. But the one class that I did have on campus, we were all social distancing. So we had a gigantic table per each student, and we were like in a ballroom. And I loved it. It was an elementary statistics course. I'm very well versed in mathematics and
All
those types
right.
of functions. Yeah.
Not relatable because I cannot do math.
Me either.
Yeah, it was kind of hard because I didn't know what I could do on campus. So I straight up asked my statistics professor if there was anything that I could do to help other students because I knew like how easy it was for me to grasp, I guess, the concepts that she was teaching
Yeah.
us.
Mhm.
And so she told me that I could apply to be a tutor in our math and technology success center, or I could apply to be like one of the like teacher's assistants, basically.
Oh.
A TA, yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up applying and working in the math and technology success center, and I loved it. I was just looking for ways to get involved on campus during a time where there really wasn't
No
much.
one really was on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that really helped. Like I wouldn't say it was difficult, but like given the circumstances, yes, it was. But it had
Mhm.
nothing to do with the school, like anything that the school could intervene with. So
I feel like that's understandable because it wasn't like a hard time adapting to the school, but a hard time for everyone just because no one was really used to a pandemic or being
Yeah.
at home 24/7. So like when you were out, you were kind of like, oh, I'm out, I can do something, like I feel like that's the hard part, and it was hard for everyone.
yeah. Like our class was in the union. Our class was in the student union.
What?
It wasn't even,
I've
yeah,
never heard of a class in there before.
it was in
Really?
the ballroom. So I didn't really have an idea of what it was like to take like a class, like a regular class. But as we started to come out of the pandemic, we were coming back on campus and just even going to those buildings, like those different buildings, and interacting with those different professors in person made it so much better for me as a student to identify as a pioneer.
I guess they did it in the ballroom because of like social distancing, you know, like it's so
Yeah.
big. So a classroom, like you're kind of together or the seats are right next to each other. So
Yeah, and also whenever you transfer, there's also the orientation on Zoom. There might be an orientation in person that you can attend now, but during that time, it was the orientation on Zoom. And they like broke us out onto like different groups, so we could ask questions about our particular program. And the university was here for the students whenever we were all limited in that capacity of getting together.
I think now the orientation is offered in person, right, Madeline?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're able to like stay the night because I remember they used to do like you would stay a night on campus because it was like a
Mhm.
2-day orientation. But that's cool that things got back to like regular programming.
Yeah. So what are some of the resources TW has for transfer students, or like some of the resources that you have really liked or found?
Well, definitely the admissions counselors are well versed. Like they are on top of like every which angle that any student could come or could possibly want to apply and be a potential student. So I remember the counselors were extremely helpful and knowledgeable about the process and transferring, as well as my advisor. Oh, I have never met like a more amazing advisor at school ever. Like, not only does the technology, like the programs and Pioneer Portal, help you see where you're at with your program completion, but it also tells you which individual courses satisfy each credit. So whenever
Oh.
I did have to transfer over some courses from community college, I could see which ones were equivalent in nature. That was really helpful because you could see like I could see which classes I had left and whatnot.
Mhm. But do you know what this program's called? Like, I've never heard of it. Like, I didn't know we had like
So
something
yeah,
that
if you
could do
go
that.
onto Pioneer Portal and you go through like my planning and progress, if
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
go to my progress and you scroll down, you're able to expand each like component of your degree requirement. So there's like anatomy and physiology, or like you have your sciences, and there's like a bunch of I don't know how to explain it, but there's like upper
Yeah.
level levels.
It'll tell you for like each section like 0 out of 1 completed or 2 out of 3 completed, and it'll tell you like you know how
Oh.
classes go, but like government 2305
Mhm.
or for an example,
Yeah.
it'll give you a list if you like click like more details. It'll give you a list of like what kind of classes you can take to grant you for that credit you need.
Well, thank you for sharing because I most definitely need to look at that because that seems like a good resource.
I know I didn't know about that either until another student in my lab was helping me set up my schedule for my sophomore year. And
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, you still need 2 credits for, this." And I was like, "What? Like, what classes can I take?" She's like, "Well, just go through them here and I'll tell you what kind of classes you can take and just choose because any of those will give you that credit." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think it's called Pioneer Portal, right?
I think it's Pioneer Portal or on self-service, but I'm pretty sure it's on your
Self-service.
Pioneer Portal.
Self-service. It's not Web Advisor.
Oh, definitely not.
But there's
So,
also Web Advisor too, and that can tell you a lot of things about your demographic as a student, but not necessarily about your program, the process, the progress that you have in your program.
so is there anything you would do differently about your transfer process, knowing that, you had a couple from like different institutions? Would you go back and change anything, or did it run out pretty smoothly for everything?
Um, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at now. And so that's why I'm like, I don't think I would change anything in the past because I'm really content with where I ended up. But I really do wish that I had finished my associates at a community college. So that way, I don't know, I would have that own like satisfaction of myself that, oh, I did something, I completed something, now on to the next step. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I will say though that there's um like the rec center, like on campus resources. I for some reason didn't think that, I don't know why, in orientation I must have not listened. I don't know why I didn't think that it would be free for transfer students to use the rec center or to go to certain places, but like there's equal opportunities for transfer students, just as if you were like coming straight out of high school. Yeah, and I really like how the school recognizes the identity of their student population. So they take care of transfer students who might be older, might have like older age, more experience, um, and or mothers, student parents,
Mm.
fathers, as well as in the rec center. I'm especially obsessed with the gaming lounge that they have open.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I did not know
I
about
still need to go there because they have like a Nintendo Switch and I want to play Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's nice to like manage your stress in ways through video gaming.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
you
during
get
like
mad
final
at
season.
Mario.
Yeah.
But they also have the Group X courses in the rec center. And I remember doing some yoga over the summer with a friend who I'd never lived on campus, but she lived at my apartment complex and we would hang out there and then she would lead us through yoga at the Fit and Rec. So I
Dang,
know
sounds
I
like fun.
never needed to pay my membership fees at Lifetime Fitness. I could just
Just come to TWU. So for our last and final question, so what advice would you give to those students who want to transfer to TWU?
mm, advice. Definitely be active on campus and find an organization that you see yourself liking or interested in. And probably another one would be meeting with your advisor because your advisor is super important. Your advisor really helps you with the professional side of
Mhm.
college. Like why are you taking these classes? What classes do you need to take for your program? And having a good relationship with them is very key in your
Yeah.
experience. So,
So before we end this podcast, do you have anything else you want to add? Anything you want to say or
um, our library is actually very gorgeous. Like every time I come in here, it's just
I know every time I walk in there, I look up and I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful.
yes, and our rotunda. Definitely sign up for tours. Sign up for campus tours
Yeah,
because
they're the
I
best.
wish I would have taken a tour of our campus.
Yeah. Not only to like get to know the school, but if you are already planning on attending that institution, it kind of gets you a feel like you don't feel lost on your first day of classes, or you know where buildings are at or where you're gonna spend most of your time at.
Yeah, I really also like how our school's D2, like going from a Division 1 to Division 2, even though I was like at the community college, it definitely made me feel more special as a student. Hmm.
Awesome. So, all right, y'all, that concludes this episode. Thank you so much, Tyler, for joining us and talking about all things transferring. So, the idea of transferring schools can seem daunting. So, we hope that we were able to help answer any questions. My name is Madeline.
And I'm Natalie.
And thank you all for listening to yet another podcast of TWT. Until next time, pioneers.
That's the T.
Guys.
That's the